Hi, and welcome to another Daily Bread. Today, I wanted to show you a map that we mentioned in the podcast, but didn't have the ability to show you. But here we can show you. So, this I think is a powerful lesson. This is something that really struck me when I put together a simple map for my students in my Book of Mormon class. It's not a map based on any specific geography scenario for the Book of Mormon. It's just using the internal information about narrow necks of land and cities and where they were in relation to each other and how armies moved back and forth. And so I just wanted to show my students what happened the course of the battle. But when I did it, I noticed something that to me was amazing. So this black line is the Lamanites coming, and they take over two cities, and then they lose those, and they have to come back later. But then you see this black line where they just start taking over Nephite city after Nephite city, and they're finally held off at Mulek on the eastern side, and then you see them take over all these cities on the western side, and probably Ammonihah and other cities that aren't mentioned there, but these are the ones that we know about. So up to that point in the narrative, everything has gone the Lamanite way. Nothing is going for the Nephites except for that Teancum stopped them at Mulek and killed Ammonihah or Malachiah. So everything has gone for for the Lamanites, and then you get one Nephite victory, and that's it. Until suddenly the stripling warriors arrive on the scene, and as the stripling warriors arrive on the scene, things go for the Nephites, and I'm not going through the whole history of everything that happened here, but you can just see what happens there. It is a turning point. I'm going to go back and do this again more quickly, but it's a turning point. Most wars have a turning point. If they, either it's an attacker and they just come in and take over everything and that's it, or an attacker that comes in and then there's a turning point and the defender wins from then on, and there's always a little bit of give and take, but usually there's some turning point where everything's going one way and then it all goes the other way. So I'm going to do this again quickly. Just look at the black and the red lines and how this is all Lamanites and then it's all Nephites, and the Nephites finally win. And what is the difference? Well, it's when the stripling warriors came on the scene. The difference is not the amazing Moroni, although he is amazing, and his battle-hardened self and troops, or Lehi and Teancum and their battle-hardened troops. And Teancum does stop their progress with his super special force that he has. But the turning point is a few thousand young men or young boys with no experience and no particular ability other than their faith and their willingness to obey. And that is what saved the Nephites. In fact, in some ways, you could say what saved the Nephites is Ammon, Aaron, Omner, and Himni going on a mission several years before that and converting a bunch of people who were faithful and then taught their children, and then their children ended up serving faithfully. But it's those young men that saved the Nephites. That's worth thinking about. That's worth looking at the people around us, the youth around us, the young single adults around us, and looking at them with some real respect and taking seriously our job of teaching them and preparing them. I believe that, again, there will be so many who will fall away, but there will be so many who are amazingly incredible, faithful, that will save us. I believe that the rising generation will save us. And as I know many in the rising generation, and there are many who are so incredible, and we need to do all we can to teach them, train them, and get them to the point where they can go forth in their small number and observe the commands exactly and demonstrate their faith and bring about so much goodness.